Greetings and welcome to a Science Elf pizza thing. You know, in a world full of smartphones, apps, and web services that allow us to get essentially whatever we want as soon as we get it, it's not that surprising to imagine that pizza and food deliveries have also gone modern. Out with the traditional phone calls to your local pizzeria, and in with the computers, offering us the convenience of placing an order wherever and whenever we want, and with far more options than one could get on the phone. Truly, we are living in the future. Of course, the road to a future as bright as ours wasn't quite so simple. In fact, the recent advances we take for granted when ordering pizzas online have a history of nearly 50 years of research and development. To really understand where this all began, though, we're gonna have to go all the way back to the 1960s. Back then, the equipment necessary to run even a smaller computer of the day required the space of an entire room. The machines, some of which still ran on vacuum tubes, were frequently prone to burnouts, and the sheer scale at which they were built also made them prohibitively expensive. To counteract this cost barrier, one computer could be shared by multiple users, accessing it through a teletype terminal. It's worth remembering, though, that even by the mid to late 60s, only about 15% of households owned a teletype terminal. And at the hourly rate most computer service providers charged, using the terminal for something as mundane as ordering a pizza was just unthinkable. Instead, most people just used it to calculate their tip. One of the interesting developments of the 60s in the field of computers, though, was the introduction of the ARPANET in 1967. Started originally as a joint research project between several universities, it would eventually lay the backbone for some of the future technologies used to order pizza. It wouldn't be until 7 years later, though, in 1974, when the first experimental test of using a computer to place an order would be performed at the Michigan State University Artificial Language Laboratory. Their system, named Alexander, was rather clunky. Though guided by a human operator, it was able to place the first order for a pizza entirely by a computer over the phone lines. It's worth noting that, since this was the mid-70s, the modem on this computer had such a slow transfer rate, you can still make out the words it's transmitting by ear.
I'd like to order a pizza. A large pizza, please.
Given a few years of development, and the rapid increases in computing power seen near the end of the decade, however, these modems would begin to transfer at rates far beyond that of mere human comprehension. Entering into the 1980s, thanks to the miniaturization offered by the microprocessor, many households were beginning to own entire computers, rather than renting time on a shared one. Instead of taking up entire rooms, these computers could fit on a desk. And in addition to their smaller size, these computers also came with increased processing power and better graphics compared to mainframes, along with faster communications capabilities. Altogether, these rapid improvements to the home computer spawned the first popular computer pizza clients, where users could place an order for pizza entirely from their own computer. Here's a clip from a TV show of the time showing how it works.
Welcome to another episode of Wonders of the World Wide Web. In this episode, we're going to talk about Ananas Pizza. The software automatically connects to the network. Welcome to our computer restaurant. What do you want to order first? What about an appetizer? Now I can select my appetizer. I pick bread by pressing 4. I can select several Italian breads. I'll select the only one I know, ciabatta, for one person. Do I want more appetizers? No. Now the software wants to know if I want to order the main dish. I select yes. Pizza sounds fine. Now I can select the kind of pizza. Margarita sounds delicious. For how many people? 1. No, I don't want more main dishes. The software asks me if I want to order a dessert. I press 2 for no. Now it's time to check my order. Kinda pricey, but I press 1. As you can see, I can pay online, but I want to pay in cash after the food is delivered, so I press 3. Now the software wants to know if my address is correct. Yes. We're done. Hungry? Order your own Ananas Pizza online.
In just 20 quick years, the concept of ordering a pizza using a computer had gone from pure science fiction to cutting-edge research in the lab to a viable consumer product, although improvements didn't stop there. By the early 90s, market research began to show two major patterns emerging. One was the World Wide Web. Despite the sheer scale of various pizza nets of the day, Sir Tim Berners-Lee was still disappointed with the common industry practice of platform lock-in with independent sellers of pizza, or ISPs. For instance, the Pizza Hut ordering client was only available on Apple-branded computers, while the Domino's client was the leading one for MS-DOS and Windows. It also wasn't uncommon for the more obscure machines of the day, like the Next Cubes used at CERN, to not have any compatible clients at all. Frustrated by these isolated pizza communities, Berners-Lee was inspired to create a universal communications platform he called the World Wide Web, or more generally known as the Internet. Through the Internet, any computer with an internet browser could place an order at any pizza location, provided that ISP had an online presence. Pizza Hut was the first to come aboard in 1994 with the first web-based pizza client. Seeing the immediate popularity with consumers, all of the other major pizza chains would soon join in, and the internet began to grow. Remarkably, though Berners-Lee had originally seen the internet as a unified source to order pizza, and possibly other foods as well, the platform proved universal enough to support nearly any other sort of content you could think of, even including this video now. The other major innovation of the 1990s was the introduction of some of the first ever portable ordering devices, probably the most infamous being the Apple Newton. The device, small enough to fit in your pocket, was packed with communication capabilities, from telephone connections to infrared transfer to the internet. What the device is most well remembered for, though, is its 1992 demonstration at CES, where Michael Chow was able to draw a pizza order right on his screen and send it as a fax. While the Newton was rather impressive, its steep price led it to being mostly ignored by the tech industry until the project's cancellation in 1998. The idea was simply too ahead of its time, and this would be proven when Microsoft released its response to the Newton around the turn of the century. They introduced Pocket PCs, which of course stood for Pocket Pizza Communicator. At a fraction of the size of the Newton, these guys were some of the first portables to use color screens along with newer communication options like Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. They could even access many of the pizza web clients of the day. Not once to be outdone, however, Apple reimagined the Newton for the 21st century, ditching the stylus, adding the web capabilities of the Pocket PC, and even more controversially, bringing back the company's specific pizza clients of the days of old. They put out the iPhone. Within the previous decade, we've seen the iPhone and other smartphones like it grow from being a niche, expensive tech product to the device a majority of Americans use to place their pizza orders every day. That's not to say smartphones are the end-all be-all. And with the ubiquity of pocket-sized pizza devices, some people are beginning to look into more novel ways to place pizza orders. Probably the most interesting of these technologies is the virtual and augmented reality systems, which allow for interactive simulated creation of your ideal pizza right before your very eyes. Then you send in your order, wait a half hour or so, and get the real thing according to your design. KFC has already experimented with this technology for chicken, with rather interesting results, but as of yet, no major player in the pizza industry has jumped on board. Researching this video has truly been an eye-opening experience for me, as up until now I had never really noticed just how much of the electronic and communications technology we now take for granted was all the result of decades worth of work in trying to get pizza in the most unobtrusive way possible. From the rise of home computers to the start of the internet, pocket-sized fax machines, all the way to the smartphones of today. All technologies developed for something as simple as ordering pizza, with mind-blowing applications that still shape society to this day. So remember, the next time you see some extra cheesy pizza place gimmick, it could very well be the way we all use computers 50 years from now. Thanks for watching, and I've got to give a huge thanks to the YouTube channel SquirrelMonkey for contributing some of their archived tapes of the show Wonders of the World Wide Web. They've been making their recordings public on YouTube, and it's really cool to see how companies and services we know today, like Netflix and Twitch, got their start over 25 years ago. So I would highly recommend that you give their online archives a look.